Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I just got back from the theaters after seeing Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire. What the fuck?
Training with Sable paid off sooner than I'd hoped.
I just fought off hunters as Mary Jane? This is a 2024 film that is a sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong. So I guess they're not fighting anymore, or maybe they still are. This was directed by Adam Wingard, and I'll just be very transparent. I will be very straightforward with how I felt about this film before I get into the rigmarole, before I get into the synopsis or the plot and the characters and the acting and blah, blah, blah. This movie was fine. It was fine. I got some level of time wasted enjoyment from said film. I think as far as the action goes and the special effects, the CGI, that is probably the best thing you will get from this film. If that is what you're looking for, you will probably enjoy it. Especially if you enjoyed the last movie, then it's more of the same as far as that stuff goes. Kong, for all intensive purposes, is the main character. I mean, you start the movie off with him, you follow him more than any other creature in said film. You could make a fair argument that Kong, this is a King Kong movie, right? And I like that. I do. I think Kong is the most interesting. I think Kong sort of just having to survive on his own, and sort of the idea that he's looking for any other type of his own species or anything that's out there just like him. That works as a story beat. It's very simple, very straightforward. Even the interactions of Kong or the other creatures talking to each other, and even though it's not like there's subtitles, they just interact and you kind of have to figure out what is going on. I wish more of the movie was that, because once you got to the humans, once you got to the characters that were here just to explain things, I like each and every actor that was in this movie just as an actor, and I think they even did a halfway decent job with what script they were given. But you have actors like Rebecca Hall, who is only here to narrate and to let us know what exactly Kong does each and every time he goes up and tries to do something. It's far-fetched of how the fuck she knows it. She just observes him and says, oh, well, he's probably doing this. So she's telling the audience what he's doing. It just, there came a point near the end of the movie where it got ridiculous by how often she was doing this. She has like an adopted daughter who was in the last Godzilla and Kong. The two of them were named Gia, this little girl, deaf girl, and she was fine. The actress was fine. The role that she played, as far as like she's getting visions of this incoming threat of the Middle Earth world or the Hollow Earth, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why she. I mean, they kind of explain why she's getting the visions, but it's all very. In a movie filled with giant creatures fighting each other, the human plot is the least believable part of said film. Dan Stevens, who's a great actor, and even here, as over the top as his character probably was and could have been worse, as annoying as his character could have been, just written on the page, I think he does a decent enough job of making him fun, making him likable, and making me enjoy seeing the guy. He clearly knew what type of movie this should have been, and he didn't take it all that serious. Speaking of not taking anything serious, Brian Tyree Henry, who I could understand if some people watch him and find him annoying, I liked his sense of humor. I liked the different type of humor that he brought versus Dan Stevens, and I just thought that it was much needed levity. It really was, because everything else was just oof. The dialogue was getting pretty rough. The plot itself, again, I wasn't really getting behind the writing for a lot of this movie. I just kind of thought like, all right, we're trucking along here. It's when the action happen, it's when the big set pieces happen, and it's when they introduce this villain, this other evil ape type character. Maybe not the most original, because it definitely felt like Planet of the Apes, the more recent ones. So there's that. I like the small interactions that we get of Kong and Godzilla. Not a lot of interaction really between them at all. They're just sort of off doing their own thing. I'm not even 100% sure what Godzilla was doing off in his own corner. I mean, they told us, but still, I was just like, that just feels like a waste of Godzilla. And I don't know why they turned his powers pink. Like, what? The huge set piece battle that happens in Brazil, Rio, I thought, you guys in the last Godzilla Kong movie created a whole entire environment in the middle of the earth, as dumb as that sounds, so that these creatures could fight and destroy things, but they're not killing people, or they're not destroying landmarks and buildings and causing God knows how many millions of dollars this is the damage. And the previous monster movies have been very criticized for that reason. Superhero movies get criticized because of how much damage happens in the films. So I could not believe in the third act where they brought the battle out of Middle Earth and brought it to Brazil. And I just was, this is unnecessary completely. Maybe now nobody gives a shit. It's just kind of, it is what it is. And I do partially feel that way. It is what it is. But I couldn't help but think, God damn it, this was so unneeded, so unnecessary to go to this location. They could have just had the battle where they were. Either way, it's a good time waster. It really is something that, like, it was Easter. I said, fuck it. I'm going to spend my Easter by watching a big, dumb, blockbuster, action-y movie. And I got some enjoyment out of it. I would give this a good date movie. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you too saw Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire. What do you think of it? Did you like it more than the last film? Do you think these MonsterVerse movies should continue going? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!